Stephanie Shaw is coming up to the stage.
It was a hand. Just a hand and nothing else. Sliced neatly at the wrist, clean of gore. I cauterized, I always imagined. I can picture it now, drumming its fingers patiently, waiting for me to enter my childhood bedroom. And I always did, because as a child, I had no choice. We all have to enter our childhood bedrooms. We stand there, terribly alone on the threshold with the light and the warmth at our backs, facing bedtime, dark and fraught. Sometimes I'm still there. There's a sort of structure to it. The hand, and it's always just a hand, lives, of course, underneath my twin bed, which is across the room from the light switch. I must turn off the light switch and make it to the bed in 2 bounds. If I can do this, the hand won't get me. I don't know where this rule comes from, any more than I know where the hand comes from, or why it, too, seems to understand this rule. I accept it, as I accept TV, even not knowing how it works. The rest of the family is downstairs watching Maude, even though my father can't stand that B. Arthur.
She doesn't care if the whole world looks.
B. Arthur is unsettling. But I accept her as somehow inevitable and having to do with a certain apprehension peculiar to 1975, an apprehension having to do with women, and particularly women in caftans. It doesn't concern me. I'm outside of the ham-handed politics of early 70s sitcoms. I'm outside of TV time and homework time and dinner time and bath time and space and logic and time. I'm alone in the dark with a hand under my bed. Sometimes I'm still there. The hand is masculine. In hindsight, with a cool eye, it would have been creepier to make it a female hand. I think about making it a female hand now, in this telling, with taupe nail polish and a cocktail ring. Graceful, smarter somehow than the male hand. But as a child, lady monsters just don't impress me. And these days I know I'm not supposed to appreciate them. I know better. I know that they are an extrapolation of the strong woman figure, the screaming Strega bitch, the Medusa, the Harpy, B. Arthur. Any woman, really, who has outlived her biological imperative and short of being placed on an ice floe, now lives in the woods and is called crone. If I made the hand under my bed a female hand, it would not be the hand of a crone. It would be in its mid-30s, well-tended, and holding a Manhattan on the rocks. And I know it's sexist of me to consider a female hand smarter than a male hand, but if it's holding a drink, then it is smarter. But the fact is, it's a male hand. The nails are short and neat, and it's not particularly hairy or even strong or in any way startling other than in its autonomy. What moves it? And more to the point, what does it want? What does it want? Well, that's easy. It wants to spring out from under the bed and grab my ankle. It wants to get me. Then what? Once it's got me, what's it going to do with me? I mean, it's a hand. It's a single hand. Short of holding me by the ankle, what can it do? Even if it wants to leap for my throat, it needs to let go of my ankle to do it. But if it lets go of my ankle, I'm free and I can run away. And so it hangs on and continues to hang on. Not in a death grip, just the way someone might hold on to a doorknob. Sometimes it's still there. What's scary about a hand? Nothing. Nothing more human. Nothing more primate, I should say. The muscles responsible for movement of the fingers reside in the palm of the hand and up in the forearm. There are no muscles in the fingers. The muscles in the forearm that are connected to the fingers, they're connected by tendons which sort of pull on the fingers and move them like the strings on a marionette. And if we need any further empirical evidence that the universe is a fucked up place, we need look no further than the existence of marionettes. The harm in the hand is that it exists, alternately on my ankle or beneath various pieces of furniture, and yet I continue to surround myself with various pieces of furniture, with rugs and lamps and coffee cups and the good bourbon when I can get it, and then one night I enter an unlit room, unburdened, an adult, and I know the room is mine, I've earned it, but it's so dark, and I still fear the dark, and so do a lot of people. So what? A lot of people do, but my dark has a hand in it. And so I at once engage in an exercise wherein I fumble for the light switch, and I know that if I don't manage it in 3, 2, 1, the hand is going to emerge, it's going to go for my ankle, it's always my ankle, then when the light goes on, click, in good time, the hand stops short, curls into a fist, shakes itself once, and scuttles off, coming to rest behind a nearby bookshelf. I don't know about you all, but as a child of the 70s, WGN's Creature Features is a staple of my Saturday night TV. The title card features a drawing of Lon Chaney. You all know it. It's the one of Mr. Chaney exhibiting the smile. The smile with the rows of sharpened, pointed teeth and the bulging eyes and the top hat. Yeah, it's from the movie London After Midnight, a silent from the 1920s. In London After Midnight, the Lon Chaney character is referred to only as the man in the beaver hat, which is what they used to call top hats, because they were made out of beaver. I watch with Moira Weir when she sleeps over. It's Moira Weir who first tells me about the man underneath my bed. Moira Weir is a year older than me. Her mother is the first divorcee on our block. Her mother and my mother are best friends. Moira is, by extension, my best friend. God, I hate her. Heavy-browed, slope-shouldered, pigeon-toed, she is like a bottom-heavy goblin sitting in my bright green and yellow bedroom, telling me all about the man under my bed. He's not under there now. Right now, there's only dust bunnies and Misty of Chincoteague under there. Moira explains he only manifests at night. Manifest is my word, not hers. He is all in black, she says, and he waits for the lights to go out. He is all in black. I picture him lying stiffly with arms at his sides, grinning in razor-toothed perpetuity at the coils in the box spring with his bulging eyes and beaver hat. It doesn't take me long, though, to cut him down to a single hand. I'm a thrifty child, and I understand something about the economy of effective horror. I mean, a whole man under my bed? That's ludicrous. His living hand in a state of inexplicable vengeance and mobility? Now we're getting somewhere. On Creature Features, it's always the men who have their hands severed, and they either get murderous hands to replace them, or they do without, and the hand lives on its own, in a state of inexplicable vengeance and mobility. These men are generally full of rage, sometimes because they can no longer play piano, or sometimes simply because they're Michael Caine. and their missing hand acts out their dreadful revenge fantasies on the people they believe have wronged them. It's a nifty dramatic trick. Historically, behaviors considered taboo if undertaken by human actors are considered acceptable if they are carried out by marionettes. So this begs the question, if I have a hand hanging out with me, and I do still, maybe under that piano, maybe under your chair, whose is it? And why are they mad at me? I always fear someone is mad at me. Everyone is mad at me. It keeps me punctual. When I was a little kid, I broke the turntable on the hi-fi, and my father beat my hands until they were purple. He was a man full of rage. More lately, I get this phone call, and the unfamiliar woman on the other end tells me, we know each other, sure we do, from college, and she just wants to take this moment to apologize to me for hating me so much during our college years, for actively wishing me ill, for watching me from the darkness of an audience in a college production and praying I would screw up. And you know, I noticed that you weren't as focused during that performance as you usually were. You didn't do so well, so I hope you'll forgive me for that. Promptly, I forgive her. It's easy. I have no recollection of her. I don't think to ask her if she's missing a hand. I mean, if she is, I don't have it. The one around my ankle is a male hand. It draws an insinuating finger down my shin like a giggle, as if to say, how many of them are out there, do you think? The ones that you made sick. What did you say to her back then, do you think? Were you as dismissive of her back then as you were just now, do you think? Are you as insufferable as this faceless fat mouth implies? And what the hell is with these 12-step programs anyway? Who calls someone up 20 years later disguised as a penitent to confess that you brought the bile to her mouth? Someone in recovery, that's who. I was doing fine without knowing how I had inadvertently contributed to the potential substance abuse of some Scotch tape snooze crews with simpering psychic aspirations and aggressive apologies that seek to undermine me the way the way I may have undermined her back when she was tender. Hey, at least I was unaware of it at the time. Is it my fault that I may have smiled at her and she saw only teeth? And 10 minutes later, of course, I'm furious. Oh, my fury's so special. It's a fury that tastes like the 1970s, like Jim Beam and cigarettes. Fury! At the self-indulgence, at the lazy mysticism, at the Silvio Berlusconi bottleneckers in the road who can't be bothered to observe the huge flashing arrow that is visible to the rest of us a mile back. And so while we obligingly get into the correct lane, they shoot past us and then try to nose their Escalades into the mess at the off-ramp, making the rest of us wait while they contribute to the snarl. You know, I just want to reach through the windshield. I want to throttle them. I want to beat their hands until they're purple. I'm scared of the dark, because when I turn out the light, how do I know I'm still here? Standing at the edge of my 40s, waiting for that decade to wink out like a light, I wonder how I know I'm still here. I open up my eyes, and I'm back there, in the childhood bedroom. I'm on my back, with my arms at my sides, staring up at the box springs on the underside of the mattress. I'm keeping company with the dust bunnies and Misty of Chincoteague, and one of my hands is missing. I am under the bed, and I am smiling and smiling and smiling, and I am under the bed, and I am the angriest person you know, but you will never know it until you turn off the light. Thank you.
We're going to Stephanie Shaw.